I'd like to ask the Minister for Policy and Reform, how comprehensive are the terms of reference for the Eastern Area Plan Inspector's brief?
The Minister to reply, Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
Thomas.
President. I thank the honourable member for his question. The terms of reference deal with administrative things such as setting out the timetable, procedures for participation and expectations regarding the production of a post-public inquiry report. In addition, terms of reference are used to ensure that the inspector has a broad understanding of the framework within which they are working and is aware of all relevant documents, etc.
Supplementary, Mr. Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the Minister is aware, the numbers allocated by the strategic plan were linked to a rapidly growing population, which has not materialised. Will the Inspector's brief include a review of these allocations as part of his work? This is important to maintain the credibility of the plan process, as if the initial allocation is massively overstated, then all the subsequent work undertaken by the Inspector at an inquiry will be fundamentally flawed.
Reply, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And as I said, the terms of reference deal with administrative things such as setting out the timetable, procedures for participation and expectations regarding the production of a post-public inquiry report. Every piece of evidence, every opinion, every what's it called exactly in Schedule 1, but every relevant matter representation will be shared with the Inspector, and I'm sure the Inspector is looking forward to the public inquiry to consider all these issues, to weight them, and then to come up with his recommendation to go to the next stage of the draft plan process, which will eventually lead to a plan being adopted by Cabinet Office to come to this Honourable Court for consideration for approval.
Honourable Member Mrs. Paul Moulton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wonder whether the Minister for Policy and Reform can confirm whether, as part of the data and documentation that will be provided to the Inspector, will that include some sense of evidence on what types of housing are needed, particularly given not only accurate and up-to-date population projections, but the demographic profile and the data on shrinking household size?
Reply, sir.
Thank you. The Inspector will have already been provided with the evidence paper which covers those matters. That evidence paper, as I've stated previously, will also be updated and revised with one correction made and other evidence provided fully. And the Inspector runs the inquiry, and the Inspector can ask for any information that Inspector chooses.
Mr. Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm slightly puzzled because the Inspector will conduct an inquiry which is designed to produce a certain number of units. How can he do that if the number of units required is overstated because the population is flat?
Minister.
As I've indicated previously, this whole process is going to take place according to law, properly. The plan will come to Tynwald Court for full discussion, and at that point, Cabinet Office and the public will have been informed with what the Inspector finds, because that's all covered in Schedule 1 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1999. The household size, population trends, the future in the light of the past will all be absolutely fundamental in the Inspector's mind, and they are in our mind as we prepare evidence papers for submission to the Inspector in advance of the inquiry. I, for one, look forward to the inquiry. I, for one, look forward to this Honourable Court finalising the area plan for the East, at least having the opportunity to do so before December this year, and then the island will be in a better place.
Honourable Member Miss Edge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can the Minister confirm the paper that he promised the Honourable Court, the white paper on the population and obviously on the smaller size of our population going forward, has he completed that yet? Has that been presented to the court? Or if not, what date will it be? And is it getting taken into consideration?
Minister.
The white paper on population was published 18 months ago, and it's informed the evidence paper which was published in the area plan for the East process. In the light of the white paper, things like locate.im have been produced, which confirm that this government this court believes in increasing the economically active population by encouraging enterprises to locate here and employ people here and to pay them as much as possible, because median earnings is a third important macro indicator target for this government. It's absolutely vital. Planning is a crucial part of this government's programme, and planning is there to balance environmental interests, conservation interests, but also the interests of employers, people, families. Quality of life is at the heart of it, and I can absolutely assure this court that by Christmas we'll be in a better place, because this court will have considered an area plan for the East, as long as if I have anything to do with it.
Honourable Member for Ayr and Michael, Mr Baker.
Thank you very much, Mr President. Can I just give the Minister the opportunity to confirm that the area plan for the East and subsequent area plans for the West and for the North are going to be based on realistic and credible population and demographic forecasts that the people of the Isle of Man can believe in?
Minister.
I can confirm that, and I also would like to take this opportunity to confirm what I said previously, that by the end of this month we will be launching a call for sites for the North and West, so that we have a realistic prospect that by the end of this administration we have a development plan for the whole of the island.
Final supplementary, Mr Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr President. Will the Inspector's brief include a review of the brownfield site potential in the East, given the recommendations approved by this Honourable Court in November 2018 on the development of unoccupied urban sites?
Reply, sir.
Thank you, Mr President. I can confirm that the Inspector's brief is limited to the administrative issues that I've outlined twice previously. However, the Inspector, I'm sure, will take into account the report from the Select Committee and the Tynwald debate therein, and even Government's response in June 2019, which is forthcoming for the in response as promised in that Tynwald debate last November or December or whenever it was.